Welcome back to Mr. G Computer Science channel. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to give us a thumbs up for the video. We're now going to further develop our understanding of trace tables with a trace table exam question. The following algorithm has been written using a high-level language. So you can see we have a function declaration here called update score. And update score receives two parameters, pnum1 and pnum2. I generally, as a rule, put a p as a prefix to my parameters just to help me remember that I'm dealing with a parameter rather than a global variable. Global variables are available throughout the entire program, as where local variables and parameters can only be used within the subprogram. So we've got pnum1 and pnum2, and we're declaring a local variable called temp, and we're adding the two parameters together. So whatever those numbers are going to be added together. We're then saying temp is assigned the value of temp plus 1. Now, in exam questions, sometimes they use the word increment. Increment just means add 1 to the contents of. I've seen that in recent exam papers, so bear that in mind. And then because this is a function, we're using the word return, and we are returning the value of temp. So in the main body of the program, which is line 7, we are declaring a global variable called score, and we're setting it to 7. We're declaring a variable called name, setting it to bond. We're printing the value of score, printing the string literal name. We're printing, and then we are calling this function, which we've just been talking about. We're sending it score, and we're sending it 3. So the return value from this function will go in this print statement. And then finally, we're printing out the value of the score variable. Now, let's check out the trace table to see the contents of the variables line by line. Before you attempt your trace table, a common question I get is, when do I write a line number? What lines do I include in my trace table? Well, a simple rule to follow is, if a variable has its contents changed, so for instance here, score is equal to 7, or if we're performing a print, then you will be required to write that line in a trace table. So now let's take this program, produce a trace table on it, looking at the code line by line. So the first line that we will come across is line 7, setting the score to 7. So line 7 has been entered in the line number, and the contents of the variable score have been set to 7. Moving on to line 8. We are setting the variable name to the string literal bond. Line 9 is a print statement, so we're not updating the contents of a variable, but we are performing an output. Hence we need an entry in our output column. Line 10. Print the string literal name. Now, this is the first tripping point I see when people are doing this kind of exam question, because they will print the word bond. But because we have got quotation marks around this string, it means take the string literally and print whatever is within those quotes. Then we come across line 11, which is calling the function update score. So we jump up to update score by sending it two parameters, score of 7 and the number 3. The 7 will go into P_1, the 3 will go into P_2. We add the 7 and the 3 and we put that into a local variable called temp. So that's why we've got this line here. So line 2 sets the local variable temp to the value of 10. Line 3 states temp equals temp plus 1, which means add 1 to the contents of temp, or increment as it's sometimes referred to. So now you can see the value of temp has gone to 11. Line 4 states to return temp. Now we're not changing the contents of any variables here, we're not printing it, so therefore we're not going to write that in the trace table. So we were going to return the value 11 to this print statement because we're finished with this function now, and it will print the number 11. Finally, we are printing the contents of the variable score in line 12. So score was set to 7. It was not changed during the execution of the program, and that gives us the output of 7. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up for the video.